Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of your Scottish podcast with myself, Craig, my trusty co-host, Aaron. Aaron, how are you?
I'm very well after a shitty day with the weather, but it is what it is. It's typical at this time of year.
Very typical. But that's what it is. But as you can see, my guest this evening, and you've seen the post regarding it, my guest this evening has wrestled for companies such as W3L, SWE, Target, Iron Girders, Saltire, Valor. He is your current and reigning and defending W3L Showdown champion. He is the Scottish Superman and part of your finest faction, the NAK. It is the one, the only, Iron Drew Marshall. Drew, how are you?
Doing not too bad, mate. I'm on no bad. That was a no bad reintroduction there. Thank you very much.
I try.
Mate, you're just buzzing. That's what it is. You're
I'm
just
always
buzzing.
buzzing. I'm always buzzing when I get Drew on. It's always a good it's
I
my
know.
boy, so I have to. But yeah, so we'll start off with some random questions because we've started doing that in these podcasts just to chase things up a bit.
Right.
So, Chinese or Indian?
Chinese.
What's your go-to Chinese?
Depending on what mood I'm in or what I fancy. So, like, one of the local Chinese for here, they do a boneless rib bites, and they're basically they look like salt and pepper chicken bites, but it's ribs. I'll usually get that with like a wee portion of salt and pepper chips, or I'll get an extra hot chicken breast curry, fried rice, no onions, and a wee side portion of chips.
Nice.
Can they beat it?
Good. Chinese is better than Indian, so I agree. Before we go any further, we've got comments in. So, Shelley has come in and said, "Whoop," because I know she's a big fan of you, Drew.
Right.
And my other half, Tony, has come in and said, "You love Drew more than me." It's not true. I also love you more, Tony. See?
Sorry, I agree with Tony, mate. Sorry. You do love Drew more than you love Tony. Sorry, dude. Because
You're meant to be my friend.
yes, I am your friend, but I'm also her friend. Remember when we eventually got him on, you said, "I am buzzing and I cannot wait for this." Right? Now, I know I've not been here for a couple of weeks, right? And everything else because I've been away. But even before when you said this will be the day, I said, "I can't wait for it." So sorry. I agree with Tony. Sorry.
I know. But I said that about Renfrew as well, and I couldn't
Yeah, I know.
get him
But
on
you,
board.
you love Drew more than Renfrew. Sorry.
That's true. I've no Drew locked up, to be fair.
So
Tesco meal deal.
So recently I've upgraded it. I'll now go with if they've got a Costa machine, I'll go for a wee caramel latte if they've got one. That'll be my drink. My main, I usually go for like the chicken and stuffing sandwich, or maybe the chicken and bacon, or you can't beat the good old fashioned egg meal, egg and cress. I don't think you get egg and cress sandwiches anymore. That's showing my age. Wow.
It's unfortunate.
Wow. How have I just realised you don't get egg and cress sandwiches anymore? This world is definitely needing a fucking slap, man. And then I would usually get like the wee brownies or something as the wee side, the wee snack.
Nice. That's brilliant, man.
Fair enough. Oh, it's going to be one of those podcasts. I can just tell already. He's still got the
Got
one in
it.
his head trying to figure this out.
I'm actually dead. I'm like, wait a minute, no more egg and cress sandwiches. What the fuck? Like that's like fucking when Bars took the sugar out of Iron Brew. What the fuck?
Oh, mate, dinner.
Maybe not that far, but aye.
John Woodcock's coming and said, "Hey lads, hope you're well. We are good, thank you." And apparently, if you go to Morrison's, they still do egg and cress.
I'll be going up there tomorrow after the gym.
See, he's a happy buddy now.
No, I'm not a happy bunny. I'm a what's the word I'm looking for? I've had a pure mind blank. I'm content until I get there.
Fair.
There we go.
Fair.
Don't fucking build my hopes up.
He goes there and there's
Tell you.
none. Exactly that, Craig. So don't, man. Come
Right.
on.
I never said it. I'm just a messenger. It's come from John, so if it's not happening, you speak to him.
Oh, I
He will
fucking
when he
will.
sees him at another show.
Oh,
Aye.
wait a minute. Our pal Sean Stiverick's coming, Aaron.
Oh yeah.
Asda, my work, Asda sells egg and cress sandwiches. So, Drew, guess what I'll be buying you for the SWE show that you're.
Here we go.
Best sandwich.
Aye. I've not got there's no Asda close enough to me. It's maybe about a 20-minute for here for me. Morrison's is a 5-minute walk. So, aye.
Just like that's for you, Craig. It's only a 5-minute walk up the road.
It's not even a 5-minute walk.
No, it's not even a 5-minute walk, mate. I know it's not. It's literally just walking up around the corner.
Sean, make sure there's some for when I come in to buy him one or two to keep him happy.
Oh, aye. Aye.
Tony, yes, I can talk. I can talk. Shelley, it's like I'm always like this. It's like that's what I'm blaming it on. She said I looked all hot, looking all flustered.
Where there? I don't, because I'm looking at my camera and it looks a bit dark. Where there? Alexa, bedroom light full. Oh, it's because I'm leaving in the bedroom, that's why. Alexa, shut the fuck up. Alexa, man cave light white. Ah, must already be white now. Fuck it, that'll do.
Oh, that's brilliant, man. That is brilliant. I'm glad to see that we all argue with Alexa, right? I don't know
Mate,
if Craig,
aye.
I don't know if Craig noticed it, right? If he paid or watched it back when we were on the podcast the other night, right? Because we were on for like a good couple of hours doing the WWE stuff, like Sunday, and so when I forgetting because I was sitting in the living room, so when I mentioned Alexa Bliss in their match, Alexa went, "I cannot compute. I do not know what you're talking about." And
Aye.
because they heard it, they were all just burst out laughing. I'm thinking, shit. And I was thinking, trying to be pro here. I'm thinking, shit. I completely forgot to turn the lights off before I fucking started the pod because I never ever not do it. I
Oh,
always do because whenever you're speaking about it, you always bring up Alexa Bliss at some stage because if they've had a match. It's my useless information. There you go, Craig. Carry on.
Sorry. Tony's come back and says next time we see Drew, we will bring him sandwiches. So we'll bring you
Nice.
sandwiches. See, the boss has spoke. See,
Aye.
be nice now because apparently I like Drew. I love Drew more, so I've got to be nice.
Aye.
What is your pre-show meal?
Nothing.
Huh?
I will go. So usually, if I've got a show or a match, I would usually try and fast for the night before. So I would try and stop eating about maybe I try and have my last meal about 8 o'clock at night, and then I would fast all the way right up until after the match. But every time I go to SWE at Ward Road Gym, I always break that because I've got a German doner kebab in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
So I always go around and get myself a boss box.
I thought it'd be that, mate. I was going to wait to get there, but I thought that because they are just
Aye,
awesome.
mate, out this world. No lettuce, no tomato. I'll keep the red cabbage and keep the onions. Double mixed meat, and I'll get the one of each of the meat spring rolls. So one of the chicken and one of the beef. And then obviously you get a drink with it. And then I usually pick the wee hash brown bites rather than the chips because I feel the chips go soggy very quick, even in their repackaging.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But aye, that's my usually when I go to SWE, that's my treat.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Question from Shelley. What is Drew looking forward to the most next year? What is your goal?
Well, I'm always looking forward to seeing what the next year brings. The goal is to try and obviously progress further, try and go see how. When I say go further and like progress, I mean I want to see how far I can go when it comes to like the independent scene. So like 2024, I managed to. I would say for like 2019 to 2024, I managed to make a name for myself in Norwich, WAW. And then I would say between 2022 up until now, I've managed to make a name for myself in Scotland. Sorry, gas. Don't drink fizzy juice. Aye. So I want to see if I can maybe progress and maybe go down south and get on like more of a like an internet based fans, and I don't mean as in like smart marks or marks. I mean like be featured more on. See, like you've got all these on demand services. Do you know what I mean? So like W3L, they're on Hooked on Wrestling.
Mhm.
So big shout out to Hooked on Wrestling. Um, so W3L is on that. Do you know what I mean? So, but Hooked on Wrestling's also got several other promotions. So just say for example, if you've got a company down south, and you've got maybe let's just say just for example 10 fans who live in that local area who watch that show, they'll go on to Hooked on Wrestling and maybe only subscribe to watch their local show. Whereas if I'm on W3L and then maybe the next weekend I'm on one of them local shows that's also featured on Hooked Wrestling, and then maybe start venturing to start maybe going into Europe, go abroad. Um, and I do think maybe next year I'm probably going to, it'll be the year where I try and go to America and try and get some sort of experience out in the States. So that would probably be the goal, is to go to that's the main goal, is to go to America and maybe see what I can offer or see what they have to offer.
Mhm. No, it's class.
So
Like you're talking about Hooked on Wrestling, Progress is on it. So I watch Progress when they're on. So um, I don't. I watch them on Thriller more than Hooked on Wrestling, but um, they're on it, and I think TNT are as well.
as far
Um,
as I'm aware,
yeah. So but I know as far as I'm aware as well, they are looking to branch out and get more. So I'm presuming it's going to become like Thriller, and it'll get loads of people, loads of different
aye.
companies on it, and it'll
Don't
progress.
don't don't let me forget as well. Valor Wrestling's now got a TV slot with Extreme Sports Channel. So again, that I don't know off the top of my head, so I'm not going to try and sit here and hit a number, but I'm pretty sure it hits over 20 countries, the Extreme Sports Channel. Do you know what I mean? So it is worldwide in a sense. So again, that's another audience that we're catering to that can maybe see what we can do. But that doesn't mean when it's Valor, like again, that doesn't mean that the fans that are going to watch that, they might know take to NAK, Drew Marshall. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Whereas the fans that are watching on Hooked on Wrestling might not take to Iron Drew Marshall. So, like, it's one of the ones where I want to try and showcase two different sides, which is unheard of because a lot of people thrive on being either a face or a heel. Whereas I want to be out there for people to say, I've seen him as a face, I've seen him as a heel, and to enjoy the stuff that I'm trying to obviously cater to bring.
Hmm. And like we've seen you as both, you do both very well. Um,
Thank you. Thank you.
and I'll like every time I see you, there's all like the way you are is always funny to watch. It's always you know when to take it serious, but you know when to have that jokey side as well. It's not where someone maybe in between would struggle to know what they're doing probably, but you
Aye.
know exactly what you're doing for both ways.
Oh,
Question, but it's not for him,
I
it's for
appreciate.
you.
Hmm?
I have a question when the time comes, but it's not for Drew, it's for you.
Off. Right, going on to people that you've went up against. As we said before we came on, we last spoke to you back in September. So we're going to run from when we last spoke to you, and we'll go. It's more about who you went up against rather than your matches you've had.
Right.
So straight away, coming straight in with Valor on the 20th of September, you were in a three-way that you won. It was Valor 808s and rope breaks. You went up against Jimmy Pierce and Tommy Lockhart. Obviously, Tommy Lockhart is someone who's doing really well in the industry. He's getting himself out there a lot. So, what was it like having Tommy, but also what is it like going up against Jimmy Pierce, who's came through the ranks of like PBW?
Well, so we'll start with Tommy Lockhart, right? No, I'm not sure if very many people know this, but Tommy Lockhart's been about a lot longer than what people think. I remember training with Tommy Lockhart back in 2009, 2010. That's 15 years ago. Do you know what I mean? So Tommy also started at PBW, and that's where I trained with Tommy. Tommy used to wrestle as Tommy Marks, so he did back in the day. He went away and he's came back, and it's almost like I remember when he was at PBW training way back when he had a good talent. He was just young, too young, and you could tell that he had really good potential. Um, you could tell he was going to grow up to be a good looking guy. Do you know what I mean? So that's a few things gone for him. You know what I mean? He's got potential. He's a good looking guy, stuff like that. And then when he comes back, you know what I mean? He's kept himself in shape. He's I don't know what he's done, but for some reason he's came back and he's just turned into this absolute technical wrestling machine. And I've been in the ring with him a few times now, and every time it's actually it's I don't need to worry about anything. I know it's going to be a good match. I know I'm going to be walking away from it thinking I enjoyed that. I don't really care if the fans enjoy it or not, but as long as I enjoy it. I'm not saying that for all matches, by the way. I just mean when you've got that, when you go in the ring with a certain person and you know that person's good at what they do. So, aye, like with Tommy, that's I think it maybe I think it's only 2 or 3 times we've wrestled, and it's all been at Valor, and every time it's always I just know it's going to be an easy going match. There's not going to be no egos. Do you know what I mean? We've got good chemistry for the past, so let's just hope it's the same. And thankfully, well, I feel that it was. But then with Jimmy Pierce again, I've wrestled Jimmy Pierce once or twice beforehand. Aye, once or twice, and again, fantastic talent. So he is. He's actually Lou King Sharp's younger cousin. Um, and again, the wee guys, it must run in the family because the wee guy's good. Do you know what I mean? He's got a good head about him. Do you know what I mean? No ego. Good wee worker. And again, I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed working with the two of them. I don't know if anybody, if they watched the match or if you remember that, but that was in Paisley. They went out for a singles match, and I just decided, do you know what? Fuck it. I've turned up, no got a match. I'm just going to walk out and just start destroying cunts. And that's what I done.
I remember watching it back. I've watched it back, and I remember they're all ready to go in the ring. You're like, hold on a minute, and you just come out and they're like, what the fuck?
They'd started wrestling already, so they did a wee back and forth. So there's a lot and all sorts of noise outside moves. But I had a wee, I think it was like 4 or 5 minutes or something, back and forth in the ring, and then I just decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go out there, and it was more of a see me when you watch Valor for when it started as CCW in Scotland, and then all the way up until like what it is today. It's almost and like I'm not just saying this because other people are saying it, but especially when you're in the locker room and when you're on the shows itself, it feels like a modern day ECW, like the original ECW. And how many fucking times would you be watching a pay per view and it'd be a singles match and they would start wrestling, they would be fucking doing some nice fucking stuff, and then all of a sudden somebody else's music plays and it just randomly gets turned into an impromptu three-way dance.
Mm-hmm.
It happened about fucking 4 times on a show, but it was exciting. It was always a game changer in my opinion. So I thought, you know what, we've got this ECW vibe. Let's throw that wee thing in there as well. So that's exactly what we done.
And
Yep.
even if you're at a show and you're not expecting it, because the match card has already come out, so you know, and yeah, everything is always subject to change. But as you
Exactly.
say, when you're sitting there as a fan watching it, and whoever it is going like obviously Jimmy and Tommy are going for a good 5 minutes, and then you come out and you're like, oh holy shit, this is. I thought that like even like you see that Craig watched it back, and I'm like. Didn't expect that. Like sitting at home watching it back, I'm thinking I knew what the card was because I've seen the cards and stuff, and I'm thinking, you know what I mean? It's like I remember, and I say this all the time. I've said it to Craig and others that speak about Lou. It's like I remember when I seen him before, and you look at I showed my first Valor show, like, and I did a screenshot, and we had obviously Lou on, and it's like we did the photo when 5 Star was here. So Lou was part of 5 Star, and we got the
Right.
photo. Like, obviously, you know how the wee man is. Yes, he is young for his age, mate. Right, obviously. But when he got a photo with Lou way back then, and then he gets a photo with Lou now, Lou he's grew a little bit, but Lou hasn't.
Aye,
But
a wee bit.
the fact with it is like even he like when we chatted about it, he remembered like when he says to him, "Where did I see you again?" Like Lou took the interest at that Valor show with him and said, "Look, I know I've seen you before, bud, but I can't remember." But I think it was just because we'd been on the Power the week before and everything else. But
Aye.
to give him the interaction with Lou as well, I thought was a nice touch because he didn't need to do that. You know what I
Aye.
mean? He goes, I remember seeing stuff, and then like all he's going through, and he went on his phone. He goes, look here, and he goes, and then Lou's like, well, let's recreate that photo, and they did it there and then. But and then I put it up, and then I tagged him in because we're pals on here, and he's like, well, thanks for that, bud. I was like, no, it says you did what you did. You didn't need to do that for him, but it just
No.
shows, you know what I mean, that what he did, and he's a crazy motherfucker in the ring. You know what I mean?
Look,
Crazy
listen,
as hell.
right. The, away for the wrestling and the storylines. Luke King Sharp's one of my best pals.
Mm-hmm.
Legit. He's the only person that I would let fucking hit me the way that wee fucking cunt hits me. And he knows that. And that's why he fucking does it every fucking time.
Yeah.
Because he knows that that he's the only person that I would let get away with it. And honestly, I can't thank him enough, right? Because like obviously if you watch back the Valor shows and the promos and stuff like building up, like he mentions a few times how like he took a chance with me, he brought me up and gave me the opportunity to try and make a name for myself, and I turned my back on him by joining NAK. Like, well, obviously there is a bit of truth in that. That is 100% true. Like I remember we were sitting in the car, we were travelling up to W3L, and we were just chatting away. And he'd asked me if I wanted to come along to training to give him a hand because he wouldn't mind getting a hand because the numbers were starting to pick up. And I says, of course, aye. And then he offered me a date for when it was still CCW. And that's when I went up against Colton Davies. And like he didn't need to take that chance. He didn't need to give me that opportunity. You know what I mean? At the time, I'll be honest, like, but it felt like I feel like I'm in a situation, so I kind of need to offer you a booting. That's how it felt at the time. But then obviously once he'd offered me the booting, and then he would then start telling me about the plans and the ideas, and like in a way, I was looking forward to the plans and the ideas, but then in a way, I'm kind of glad it didn't happen. I'm glad things like took a major twist and the booking plans all changed. So my day job, I work as a local stagehand is the best way I can describe it. So like in the venues in Glasgow, like the Barrowlands, the Hydro, the O2 Academy, the King's Theatre, the Concert Hall, places like that. We're responsible for setting up the gig or the event. Like when Transmit comes to Glasgow Green, we're responsible for building the stage and building all the equipment, getting everything all set up. That's what I do. And because one of my main venues is the Barrowlands, and when I was younger, I used to go to the Barrowlands every Saturday and Sunday, and I used to be what you call one of the lookouts. I was like 9, 10 years old. I got given a walkie-talkie. I had to keep this walkie-talkie inside my jacket, and I had to stand at a certain street, and I need to look up and down the street, and if I seen a copper or somebody that looked suspicious like a copper or dressed like quite smart like a CID officer, I had to say, oh, like this street, blah blah blah, doing Gibson Street, like to CID, and the next thing you would just see everybody just scattering out of nowhere, and they would all be running with their bed sheets that was filled with their copy DVDs and their copy CDs, and they'd be running to go and stash all their stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I was giving them a pre-warning. So because of that, like Luke King Sharp wanted to give me a Barra Boy gimmick, where I was almost like a Del Boy Trotter, but a Glasgow version. And like the ideas that he had were, I'm saying to him, like, mate, like, wow, this is actually brilliant. I'm looking forward to this. Do you know what I mean? We're going to have like vignettes of me doing the barras, and then like then like so. If you remember Chewing the Fat, do you remember the character, the big man?
Yeah.
Right. So it was meant to be a play on like a Barra Boy, but like with a wee bit, I did a tiny wee bit of the big man sort of thrown in there, and like one of the ideas that I remember is the one that always comes to my mind, because I'm thinking that is one of the best things I think for marketing and making a bit of money and getting your product out there. During the interval, he wanted me to go out with tickets for the next show and say that, like, look, I don't know what the tickets are priced at, but let's just say the tickets are priced market £12. He wanted me to go out and walk up to people and go, look, I've got tickets here for the next show, right? They say £12, but see, if you buy them off me right now, right to today, right now, you give me the money, cash only, but I'll scrub that out and I'll put a wee 8 next to that, and you'll get your ticket for £8. Wow. And
Wow.
the tickets would have been valid for the next show. That was Luke King Sharp's idea, and I'm going, mate, I can't wait to do this. And it just it never happened. Obviously, plans changed, creative changed, bookings changed, and I got put in NAK.
And you've never looked back.
And I've never looked back. But Luke King Sharp took a massive a risk, I would say. He took a risk. I said that at one of the last W3L shows. I thanked Mike Musso at the end of my match, and I says, you took a risk by putting me on your shows, and I'd like to think that wasn't a curse. It was more of a blessing. And Looking Sharp let me showcase what I could do as that wee sneaky, conniving, cheeky, thick as fuck, but quite witty at the same time, little bastard.
Nice.
And
You've covered quite a lot that Craig was probably already going to ask about these folk, which is great in a way. I'm not going to lie.
Probably,
it was my fault because I mentioned LSK,
right.
But I know we'll touch base on it. But it was great to see him back in SWE as well. It was great to see that, because he was there before, but great to see. I know I wasn't there, and I know we'll touch on that when we get there. But it's just the fact that I've seen the promos after it as well, and the way he's talking, I'm thinking, in my head, as a fan, is this looking further forward for him to be more involved in SWE as well, what he's put out with his promos as well, if you know what I mean?
Well, there's obviously I can't speak on behalf of anybody. I don't know
I know that.
what people talk about, but I'll be honest. I remember having a conversation with Luke King Sharp, a private conversation, me and him, and he was just fed up and sick of the way he was being treated elsewhere. So I said to him, mate, maybe hit up Jay. Do you know what I mean? Like, you work with him at W3L, you work together every single show, you're in a team together. He knows what you can do. Like, there's no harm in asking. And I know nothing had been said yet, because that's something that Jay would have, like, Jay the Jackal, he would have came and said something to me about, but he never. And I remember backstage, I thought, I need to plant a seed. I'm going to plant a seed. And now, Looking Sharp, he knew what I was doing, but Jay the Jackal had no idea what I was talking about. And we were backstage at W3L, and I says, listen, all I'm going to tell you, and this was to Jay the Jackal, I says, listen, all I'm going to tell you is, the SWE roster is about to get 10 times better. All I'm saying. And he's going, what do you mean? I went, all I'm saying, just watch and learn, and I guarantee you, any money, your roster gets. Like I said to him, your roster's no bad. You do not have a bad roster. He's got a really, really good roster, a fantastic roster. But you can only get better. There's no point in going backwards. Do you know what I mean? So, and there you go. There's prime example number one. Lou King Sharp's back in SWE. So you
It's
don't
like
know.
when I seen it that he was there, I was like, but because obviously I was away because I was away from my daughter's comp, and I was glad obviously Fig was giving me updates where both shows like where that and obviously Saltire and stuff, and I was just like, when I seen the announcement, I'm like, you fucking prick, you have to be away, and you're really getting to see him in your own local company in Dundee.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was
Right.
like, bam, pot. I was like, but you know what I mean? I was like, fuck. But
But, like,
things happen.
it's
And
like
if you know what I
talking
mean,
about Lou. Like, I still remember the time when he was first in SWE and his pink
Yeah.
trousers.
yeah,
Right.
the pink trousers, mate.
The
Yeah,
pink trousers were so funny.
yeah,
Yep.
Just
It was
and
supposed to be
then,
like a Geordie Shore rip-off, wasn't he?
yes,
yeah, and like he sold it so well, but like the way he is now is totally different. And I
nice.
prefer the way he is now to the way he was before, just
And
Aye.
that
because it's
shows
so much better.
he's developed so much as
Hmm.
well, though. Like, if you know what I mean, because I agree
Aye.
with you as well, Craig. He's like where he is now, and compared to where he was back then, it's just like wow.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, I know I can't get to many Valor shows because of work and whatever else, but see when I watch them back and see the product they put on, but even when he's involved in a match, doesn't matter who it's with, you know, like you're going to get an awesome match. When Lou,
Aye.
doesn't matter who Lou's facing, you know you're going to get a great match. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Well, I sit there and say I agree with you, and then I'm going, wait a minute. That's the same wee fucking prick that decided, Drew, I'm going to smash you in the kneecap with a claw hammer, but I'm not going to tell you about it until the end of the fucking match, and pulls out a claw hammer. And I'm going, what you doing with a claw hammer? What you actually see the panic in my face? That was legit. That wasn't me acting or selling. I'm looking and I'm going, you little bastard, you've just pulled a claw hammer. You never told me nothing about a claw hammer. And he just fucking whacks me.
Oh
He got
wow!
he got the majority of knee pads, but the corner of the claw fucking caught me right in the corner of the knee. And I'm like,
Oh
oh, you know what?
wow!
I'm like, fucking pin me, pin me. I'm not doing nothing. Ah, you little cunt. And I'm like, I said to him, the only reason you done that is because you know fine well you're the only person I would let fucking allow to get away with that shit.
Wow, man, that's class. That is
But
class.
I love him and I would never change him for the world. I
Yeah, no,
wouldn't change
definitely
him
not,
for the
mate.
world.
Honestly, no, 100%. Totally agree.
Nah.
Sorry, Craig, carry on because I've took over your
That's all right.
podcast for a change.
No, it's all right. Claire has come in and said, "Who would you like to go up against that you haven't already?"
Ooh, nice.
Oh, right. Do you mean in Scotland or in the world? So what I'll do is I'll answer both then, right, just in case. So somebody that I've no wrestled before. Um, well, there was I would have mentioned two people, but I wrestled both of them in the same weekend 2 weeks ago, so I can't say that one. That was Mike Musso and the judge. Somebody that I've no wrestled that I would like to wrestle. Oh wow, I'm stumped. Do you know what? Chris Renfrew. There you go. That's a match that's never happened.
I would like to see the fact that
Same.
he's came back and what he's doing for himself as well. You know what I
Same.
mean? Now that I think you two together, that would be yes, you're in NAK and whatever else, but I would love to see that match.
Well, just remember we're only in NAK in one promotion.
Yes, I know, mate, I
So,
know.
if, for instance, it ever did happen where Renfrew appeared at SWE, you never know.
You never know, mate.
Don't know. I don't know. It might aye. You know what I mean? A face Chris Renfrew turning up and challenging a heel Iron Drew. Aye.
maybe.
I like that.
Or W3L, where you get the face Iron Drew versus
I was
heel
just
Chris
about to
Red.
say that. I was just about to say that. You've already got W3L, where the both of us are predominant figures in the promotion. Aye, it might
No.
happen.
I know.
You never know.
Cameron Miller has come in and said, "Hi guys, Andrew, NK for life."
Yeah, man. NAK for life, brother.
Shelley has come in now. I'm unfortunately away to answer half of this because I was just about to touch on it anyway. But she says Krieger is coming back for a bit from Canada. Have you wrestled him, and would you? Obviously, you've wrestled against him in tag matches.
We've had a singles match as well. So we have. We actually had a cracking match. It was W3L's Old Year's Fight 2023 at Petticoat Bay. Krieger was the defending W3L Showdown champion at the time. We went 1-on-1. Now, Krieger and I, again, trained together, wrestled together, teamed against each other, teamed with each other. Never had a one-on-one match. It was the first one-on-one match that we had. It's it is a wee bit difficult sometimes when you're having a face-face match. So you want to try and tell a story as much as you can. And it's kind of, again, it's still hard. How do you tell a face-face story? What is the purpose of two friends fighting each other? Well, we need to create one. So we basically just went out and told the story. It was, we put our friendship aside and we go for the belt. Do you know what I mean? The start of the match, we showed each other how easy it is to make a mistake on both parts, and then we just went full on balls to the wall. And it's I was going to say it's safe to say, it was fucking definitely no safe. But when he kicks you in the face with that fucking big shoe of his, mate, ooh, fucking hell. Like, wow. Like, I've been hitting the head with, like, objects, and it's not came close to being hitting the head with, right across the side of the face with Krieger. I think he's a size 13, size 14 boot, same as me. But aye, that was. But again, I would love to wrestle Krieger again. I know that he's back. Don't know how long he's back for, but it would be good to. I'm looking forward to seeing him, but it'd be good to get to wrestle him again.
Depending on the timings, I might try and see if I could swing in before I go to my show, but that might not happen. I'm not going to see him when he's here because I'm seeing the Chili Pipers the same night when SWE is.
No way. Brilliant.
Yeah, in the Cairn, so booked
Right.
way like middle of last year. So it's like when I seen it, and then like because Craig messaged me, he's like, "You seen who's back?" I says, "Mate, I'm fucking," because he was like, "You're gutted." I says, "Yeah, mate, I'm raging." This is because, like we spoke like last time when he was in Canada on the time difference and everything else, and then he all he did say was, "Watch this space. I will be back." Some point before the year's out, he didn't give a date, and when I seen it, I was like, I'm fucking raging because it's the last show of the year. It's the last show of the year, obviously, for SWE before New Year, but am I likely to see him before? Because as you say, how long is he here?
I'm
You know what I
sure
mean? So we've
he
got
said he's back for a couple of weeks, I think.
like yourself,
on a
we've got
post.
like Craig more for you, but like the three of us, we've got to know. Like Craig's got to know you more than I have, but we've got to know each other. The same with Craiger. Craig's got to know Craiger more, but we've got to know each other as well. And it shows. Doesn't matter if I'm not at a show or whatever. If I can't make it, like Craiger's the same, and like with you, if I can't make, you'll always ask how I'm doing and stuff. If you know what I mean. And so I'm in a way I'm gutted because I thought it would be nice to see him, but shit happens, mate. Unfortunately.
It was like that on Monday as well. Like, I'm working and Tony messaged me. She went,
"Yeah,
SWF dropped their poster for the next show. Krieger's back," and I went, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, I see the poster.
I actually had to go check it for myself to see, and then it was posted. I was like, and then I read this. I'm being back, and I'm like, so I messaged them. I was like, I cannot wait to catch up with you. By the way,
yeah, Because then he messaged me because obviously we like share stuff on the pages for different like most promotions and stuff. He says, "Maybe you seen an announcement?" I says, "Yeah, I'm still busy with Dad, but I will get it out there in the next 20 minutes, half an hour." But it was an hour and a half or so later because I was still busy sorting Dad. Like people in technology just do not go, mate. Honestly, like anything goes wrong with his Fire Stick, I'm the first one to get the call and go down and fix whatever it is. But you know what I mean. But I'm sitting there reading it. I'm thinking, Dad's like, "What are you reading?" I says, "It's fine, Dad. It's fine. I'll sort you. Then I'll sort what I need to do." You know what I mean?
Aye. But no,
But
like
yeah,
I say, I'm looking forward to seeing
yeah.
what they do.
I think a lot of folk are though because he's been
Aye.
away for that long. If you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
stuff. But he's done so well for himself, and that I get that's why, like yourself and others, want to branch out and go
Aye.
abroad and get the experience that he has, if that makes sense.
Yep, of course.
But yeah, so we'll get back to some of the matches you've had.
Sorry, mate. I
That's
completely
alright.
went off topic.
So the last match that shows on Cage Match, because obviously we always use Cage Match, but it's always true. But I've got here the 1st of December 2024. You came to SWE. You went up against John Hex.
Is this what I think it is, or is this in the combination of this
This
feud?
is in the
Is this
combination of the
right?
feud.
That's fine. That's fine.
So what was it like going up against John Hex, now
That
known
was it,
as
Johnny Wilson.
Johnny Wilson?
Yeah, he's Johnny Wilson now.
That
Yeah.
that that was actually, I believe, the second time I wrestled John Hicks. The first time would have been at Hell for Lycra last year when I defended the WAW World Light Heavyweight title
Yeah.
against him.
Yeah.
And then now that we can obviously talk about it, that the next show where it was announced where John Hicks wanted a rematch sort of thing, and that's where we started planting the seed of the double heel turn. Sorry, not the double
Yes.
heel turn, the double turn.
Yeah.
So if you remember, at the end of the first match, I big up John Hex, offer my hand. He goes to take it and sticks a finger in my face and
Mhm.
fucks off.
Yep.
And then obviously I say at the end, when me man, you need to rethink your ideas. You need to go and have a hard think. And then obviously at the end, the next one, uh, two really good matches. First ever time we'd worked against each other. We worked with it in a tagging with each other. Just once previous before that. But it was both of the matches were really good. That was that was the setup for the double turn, which I think went down quite well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got his actual family members
Yeah. Yeah.
trying to get backstage to like physically get to me because they actually thought I threw him off the balcony. They actually thought he landed
Mhm.
Yeah.
like in that awkward position, but thankfully he managed to land safe enough
Yeah. Yeah.
where he wasn't injured in the slightest. Um, but he managed to make it look as if
He
he
was.
actually fell back first. Um, and I had his family waiting for me to come out the changing room after all the fans had left. The ring was more or less packed away in the van. There was just the last bits, and I've still got John Hex's family waiting outside to come and get me. But aye, every time I've worked with John Hex, it's always been good. It's always been good matches. Again, the wee guy's a fantastic worker, great potential. He listens, he learns. Aye, no, again, John Hex is. I do like working with John.
Good. And maybe like you never know, there might be more going forward in the future as well.
Oh, aye, of course.
Because you never say if feud's really over in wrestling.
Oh, that's exactly true.
Um, Respect Pro Wrestling.
Mhm.
You went up against Lewis Girvan for the respect title. What was it like going up against Lewis Girvan? Because he's doing well for himself as well, with likes at ICW and stuff like that.
Again, that was another good match. Trying to remember where it was. I'm sure that was in Kilburnie, I believe. Which is the venue. The roof is quite small in that venue. But no, we did. We had a good match. again, just when you're in there with like the first time working with somebody, and you've got this natural chemistry, or like they're easy to work with. It's hard to come by these days. But again, good match. Lewis is doing very well for himself.
Yeah, he
Uh,
is
I,
100%.
I'm not a big follower on wrestling. I must admit. But the one person that does come up quite often on my feed is posts about Lewis Girvin. So it's good to see that he's doing very well.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, it is good. And someone that we've had on the podcast, and always a pleasure to speak.
Yes, yeah.
He's a good guy. Good guy.
Back to SWE. This was the 8th of March. This was against Mark Monroe. What was it like going up against Mark Monroe, because he is a little shite?
He is a little shite, and he knows he's a little shite,
No,
and he'll
shite
be
with
the
no
first
mouth
one,
or muscles either.
and he'll be the first one to tell you he's a little shite.
Yeah.
But the wee guy's got a heart of gold.
Oh, yeah. Totally, mate. 100%.
Heart of gold. Like, every time I look at him, I forget that he's older than what he is. Because when I look at him, I just get this mental image. You're about 12, you're about 13,
Yeah.
and you're like, no, you're nearly 20. Fuck, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's aye, he's good company to be around. Cheeky wee shite, but aye, he does. He's one of the ones where he's just, like I say, he's good to be around.
Yeah.
Nah, I got on really well with Mark, and it's always a good laugh with him.
Well, I did say to him. I remember when we wrestled at SWE, and I said to him, "I went, listen, don't get too cocky now." I says, "Because there'll be one day when me and you's in that ring, and you'll come to regret it." I don't know if you were at, but obviously I know you were at Saltire, Craig. But if anybody that's watching or watching in the future that was at the Saltire show, I knocked Mark Monroe the fuck out by a super kick that missed him by about fucking that. That goes to show how much of a fucking hard man Mark Monroe is. I missed him with a super kick by fucking that, and it knocked him clean the fuck out.
Oh, wow.
What the fuck?
At least he sold it, though. But still, as you say that much, that's... And Craig's waiting.
Like,
Craig's waiting to say something. I could see
No.
it. I could see Craig's waiting
No, no.
because... Actually, my question for you, Craig, is right
Oh,
because I've not
God.
asked it yet
Oh,
before we
God.
get there. No, it's not. No, it's not a bad one. It's a good one because I would normally ask the talent this, so I'm going to ask you: do you prefer Drew as a face or a heel?
Heel.
I knew that. But I know what Drew
As
prefers.
much
That's
as you
why I
get
thought.
that in, as much as Drew does interact with the crowd when he is a face, the way he interacts as a heel is so much better. 'Cause
Yeah,
he'll come out
100%.
and he'll do what he needs to do. People will try and get high fives. He'll just look at them, go, "Fuck off."
Yeah,
And
and
just
that's what I
continues
love.
stuff like that. But a heel is, I like him as a heel so much better.
Yeah, I knew. I
hate where
thought
I
that would
can't
be
cheer
your
for
thing,
him
mate.
though. If I've got to go against him, I hate it. But I know that me and Drew have spoke about things, and I know that we do it for a reason. But it kills me inside because I'm like, I'll sit there, and if you're a heel, and I'm like, I don't want to shoot against him. I've got to, especially your heel turn to SWE.
Yeah,
I had to. I always go for the faces, and then I was like going against you, and even after it, I'm like to and I'm like, that felt weird. Like, I had to actually turn on Drew there. I felt so fucking weird.
It felt weird, but it's what, as much as you love them and you prefer him as a heel when he does it, you know what I mean? And like as heels, I see this all the time when we've got people on that we know very well, right? And we get on with well and whatever else. And Craig probably does it more than I do when we're at shows, but we know if whether you're a face or a heel, right? You could look wherever we are sitting, and if you need something, you'll give the nod to say right, you need whether it be a face or a heel just to get the crowd going. But then it's like you'll go and then you'll see other people around, and me and Craig are looking at each other too early. Like
Mhm.
if it's like if you need the clap and we're looking, and then Ollie will go and says to him, no, but too early. And he goes, what do you mean? It says watch. And then when we go, then everybody else.
Aye.
And it's
It's
just
like
because,
it's like times where it's like they've just hit the mat, they're both lying there,
yeah,
they're double down, and people are starting to clap. I'm like, you're far too early.
too early, yeah.
Aye.
I'll like, for instance, Mark Monroe. If like, for instance, if when he's ever a face or even a heel, he'll kind of turn and lie a certain way where he can see me, and
Yeah.
he'll just and a certain look he gives me, and that's me. I go.
Aye.
It's a certain contact, like, cause the wrestlers know that they'll get the help from me, because basically everyone knows me now.
Yeah,
Um,
they more or less doing
everyone,
it.
yeah, everyone will look at me or signal in a way towards me where I then know, right, that's when we need to start helping them. That's where the clap needs to start, or a
Yeah.
cheer needs to start, or stuff like that. And it's just then everyone follows like Aaron says, and it's getting, and then it's just when we're sitting there and someone starts like too early. I'll sit there and go too early, and then I'll stop, and then I'll go, and then everyone follows me again.
I think it's because we've gotten to know the guys so well. We've been at different shows and whatever else, and because they get to know us and we've been on the podcast with pods with us and stuff. So it's like when we go, others follow. And and I don't know about Craig, and I've said this before, but it's like we'll go to shows and we'll start off something, but because everybody else is now following suit, there'll be times where we're sitting and we're not having to go as much as we usually do because other folk are doing it, but we still help when, like, if it's a younger kid, if no one else is helping. So, like, whereas the wee man starts a chant, right, for whoever he's chanting for, right, and because he's not that loud, we'll let him, but then we'll carry it on just so it
Aye.
gets what it needs. Or
Aye.
like for other younger ones, because you hear them and they're like, it's not get yes, I get what we get what they're trying to create, but to try and help them get the creation for whoever they're following, it works as well.
Mhm.
Aye.
No, I know. And the reason we don't have to be live now, and I'm going to put it on them, is Claire and Shelley's luck. Just steal it all from me now.
But mate, it makes our job easier. The fact going forward for other shows, if you know what I mean, if that makes sense and stuff.
On the plus side, Aaron, your son has come in the comments and said hi, so hi, Ollie.
Oh hi, bud.
Claire
He's in
has
the other
also
room actually. Like the same as Tony. He's in his room.
usual. Claire has also come in and said Shelley will have a video of you knocking Mark out. And Shelley has
Aye.
come
She
back and
sent it
said
to me.
it's on. I'll be on her page.
Aye, she
But
sent
yeah.
me it.
Back to W3L. You went. You had a cowbell on a pole match against Tim Strange.
Aye. Aye. That sucked balls. Now, I'm trying to remember. This year hasn't been the best of years for me for when it comes to, like, thankfully no any serious injuries. I've had many niggling injuries, and I'm sure this one was my back. My back. I was really struggling with my back in this match, and the match hadn't been announced online or nothing like that. I turns up to the venue and I'm told, it's you and Tim in a cowbell and a pole match, and I'm thinking, ah. Really? I just had a last man standing match last night. What the fuck? Like, I'm battered and bruised. I was fighting in the street last night. I got body slammed on a memorial bench. And you want me to go and have a fucking. Oh, right, okay. But, like, when you're in there with somebody like Tim, uh, wow. Like, talk about somebody taking care of you. Like, you would watch that match back and you could see certain bits where, like, I'm struggling. Um, just moving, just walking about in the ring. And then just Tim just brought out a different side that I was able to show. And anytime I work Tim, it's always I'm buzzing. It's Tim's a great guy to wrestle. I'm sick and tired of saying to him, I don't know why you're doing all this deathmatch stuff. You're wasting your talent away. But no, the cowboy. That was. I don't know if you've ever been whipped with one of the bull ropes.
No, I can
Oh
imagine, mate. Honestly,
no! I don't want that again. I don't want that again. Definitely not. And I could be wrong, but off the top of my head, I think that now makes me, in that match, the first ever man in W3L to kick out a Tim Strange's lariat.
Oh wow. Nice.
Nice.
I managed to kick out.
Good. Wouldn't
So,
expect anything less, to be fair, but
No, same.
aye, aye, but aye. No, I love wrestling. Anytime I wrestle Tim, I just know it's going to be an amazing match.
Nice.
Tony has come in and said she still hates Tim.
I know why. I still know why she hates him, but
Same.
yeah.
Ollie says he has a question, so ask away, Ollie. And Claire has come in and said, Craig, the boys are getting the gist of what to do, and when so they're not stealing your thunder. They are stealing my thunder, Claire. It's always my thunder.
It's never, mate, but that's going to change, as we know.
I know. I do need to stop because then I get really sore throat and I get really hoarse. So it's not the best.
Really hoarse? You mean really hoarse?
Same thing.
Sorry. I'm not trying to be an ass or anything, dude, but
No.
you know.
It's not a podcast if I don't butcher something.
Yeah, I know, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I know. You went up against Junji Maki a few times over your course of time as well. So what is it like? You went up against him on the 5th of April for Valor.
Aye, it was odd. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I think me and Ewan's concept of wrestling clashes. But I think that was the first time we had a singles match, I believe, against each other. And I think Valor was the right promotion for it. Because I got to be an asshole. And Ewan got to maybe like try and showcase what he could do in front of a new audience, a Glasgow audience. Aye, we had a on paper you wouldn't think the match would have been anything, in my opinion. But no, we had a good match. And I think it was, if I'm right in saying, that was the first time that we introduced the Suck Du Catch as a whole collective, because we teased Big Mick. Big Mick came out at the end of Liu King Sharp versus Chris Renfrew TLC match. He came out and fucking gave me the double choke bomb onto the apron, and then ragdolled me about like a fucking wet trackie. But aye, it was a good match. Ewan does have a unique character. I'm always intrigued to see what variation of character that he's going to be doing, whether it's like the pirate or the bear, or like, I don't know, but way back when he used to come out with his bright pink pleather trousers that had they were like flower petals, but they were gun chambers. They were actually pretty cool. And he used to come out to a song called Unza Time. I don't remember how the song goes. It's no your stereotypical song that anybody would listen to. It's one of these ones where, like, you need to be into that type of music. But if you type in Unza Time, that was Ewan Mackey's original team. But I remember first ever meeting Ewan before Ewan had embarked on his journey into wrestling. We were at a show, and I was at a W3L in Carnegie Leisure Centre. I think it was like 2006, 2007. And Ewan was a paying customer, and I was a trainee who was just sitting at the back, sitting on the bleachers playing with my wrestling figures. And Ewan Mackey came over and sparked a conversation. And then after that, Ewan then joined the WFL training. So aye.
What? Shelley's come in and said, yeah, but our boys are setting the mood to annoy them more. That's fine. They can annoy them more.
That is very
That's fine.
fine, 100%.
Ollie's question. No, actually, it's a pretty good question. I'll go on that. If you had the option to pick the stipulation and your opponent for your last match, who would you pick?
Oh, bloody hell, he's come up with the good guns tonight, man. What the hell?
Right. Last ever match. Last ever match in a stipulation. That's a good one. That is actually a good one. I'm a bit young to be thinking about that type of stuff, Ollie.
I know, mate. I know.
Last ever match. I would probably have to go and say, if I was to have my last ever opponent, I would probably need to say. Now, obviously, this might change. I'm not saying this is 100% my final go-to opponent, but I'd probably say Liu King Sharp, and I would probably have to go into his world. I would need to do some sort of death match. You know what I mean? That would be something that I would 100%. If I was like a, but if it was a dream situation, it would be Shawn Michaels, 100% Shawn Michaels, in a 60-minute Iron Man match.
I like both. I like both, man.
I do.
I do. I agree. But that he's right. That for the age he is to think of that question, man. You know what I mean? That's fucking.
But Drew's nowhere near ready to end his career.
I know he's not.
That's
but
why we're saying. That's why we're saying that.
I know, but it's just like the fact that he just turned 16. I know he maybe doesn't look it, right? Because he's that fucking small and everything else. But for him to think of that without any equation at all, the fact that he's nowhere near me, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And stuff. The fact that he's in his room potentially just watching along or in the living room doing whatever and coming out with that, I'm like, wait a fucking minute, what the fuck? That's even through me. So there you go.
Yeah. Back to W3L. This was Savoy Sports Centre in Mehel.
Method.
Method.
Methil.
Method, mate.
Methil.
Method.
Mehel.
Method.
I was trying to sound like them, alright. You
sound like you're trying to claim a hill in your Dundonian accent.
That's exactly what I was thinking he was trying to claim.
That's my hill. That's my hill. That's my hill. It's fucking my hill. There's no your hill. That's my hill. Fuck's sake, Craig.
That's why you love me.
Yeah, mate.
You should research these things. How do you pronounce that?
Meth. Hell.
On the plus
Method.
side, I'm dyslexic, so yeah, it works.
So the fuck am I, mate? But I still know it's meth hell.
Right, anyway.
Mess hell. You went up against Luke Aldridge.
And it was a no DQ. It was a DQ. The match.
DQ because it was for
yeah.
it was for the heavyweight title and the Showdown title.
Yes.
Right. And I nearly had the belt. And Liu King Sharp decided to fucking whack me with that kendo stick, you bastard.
Again.
But I've wrestled Luke. I couldn't even count how many times. I always enjoy my match. Sorry, I've randomly just got hiccups. I always enjoy working with Luke. Luke's one of the ones where, like, he'd send me a message and he'd be like, "Hey, buddy, can I ask something?" And I'd be like, "Of course." And he would say, "I've got this idea for a move, like a sequence of moves." And he would try and explain it to me, and I'd say to him, "Right, if you can get like to a training, like to somewhere with a ring and get a trainee and demonstrate it, then I can maybe pick for that." But he's always like the way Luke Aldridge plays that character. It's just something else. Absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? Like he just draws you in. I don't know why. For some strange reason, he started doing this Liverpudlian accent, and he sounds like a fucking Brookside reject. But it seems to be working for him. He keeps on coming out and going, "It's the world title." Like, mate, you're not even for Liverpool. Why are you putting that accent on? And that's the only thing he says in that accent. It's the world title. Like, mate, you're not for stop it. But I no good. Again, I love working with Luke. Like the guy's got a good sense of psychology. He's got a good creative mind. He's always coming up with ideas. Takes criticism very well. Always asks for advice. Again, somebody that I do love sharing the locker room and the ring with.
Good. Back to SME, you went up against Hugo Harris. What was that like?
Again, I think that might have been the third or fourth time I'd wrestled Hugo. Every single time we wrestle, mate, it's just like I get the. Again, I know this is blowing smoke up my own arse and maybe taken totally out of context, but it's almost like I feel like when I wrestle Hugo Harris, it's almost like a Shawn Michaels versus Mr. Perfect. I'm not saying to the standard of the match, just with the different styles. You know what I mean? Like, again, this isn't me. I know it's about to come out my mouth, but this isn't. It's not me that says this. This is what a lot of people have said this recently, and I don't care what anybody says. For me, it is one of the biggest fucking compliments I've ever received in wrestling. Is I remind a lot of people when I'm wrestling, especially at Valor, um, I remind them of a 1997 Shawn Michaels. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I don't give a fuck what anybody's opinion on 1997 Shawn Michaels is. But you give me a better year that Shawn Michaels had, a better year that made Shawn Michaels Shawn Michaels. I will happily take that.
Mm-hmm.
1997, you know what I mean? Going in there against fucking Bret Hart. Psycho said at the start of the year. Do you know what I mean? Like, mate, the guy was fucking aye. And the thing is, like, it's no big secret. Shawn Michaels is my hero. Shawn Michaels is my idol. Always has been. When I was a kid. Hence why I've got the long hair. I use the super kick. Do you know what I mean? That's my wee thing to Shawn Michaels. I've got Shawn Michaels tribute to Shawn Michaels gear, everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, but when it's me and Hugo, it's a different kettle of fish.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I think now we've wrestled about 7 or 8 times. And for the first ever time, Hugo Harris and myself will be tagging. So this hasn't been announced yet, so I'm going to announce it now. But I doubt very many people will see it. But this Saturday, the 13th of December, myself, Hugo Harris, and the Jackal will be teaming to take on 3 wrestlers from WAW down in Norwich. Me and the lads will be travelling down there. So the Jackal and Hugo Harris will be making their WAW debut this Saturday, along with team captain of Team Scotland, yours truly. So
Nice.
this is all. It's going to be it's going to be weird because I made my return to WAW this year in July, and the reception I got wasn't what I was expecting. When I was last there, I was one of the top bad guys. Do you know what I mean? Like they fucking hated my guts. And then my music plays for the first time in a year. Well, like it was 11 months, and I was supposed to go out there as the bad guy, as the usual prick that I am, because like everybody thinks that the NAK Drew is a new version of Drew. It's no. If you go back and watch my WAW stuff, that's NAK Drew, just minus the swearing. That's exactly what it is, and that's where I've managed to morph into more of an adult style. Iron Drew. Hence why I say NAK Drew Marshall rather than saying Iron Drew, because Iron Drew is more of a is more. I'm more pushing Iron Drew more towards the face side of things, whereas when I'm in Valor or NAK, it's just Drew Marshall.
Yeah.
Because Drew, like Iron Drew, is bright, colourful, happy, cheery, representing goodness in Iron Brew. A Scottish, obviously Iron Brew being like a national treasure. Like you don't want a bad guy representing it. So aye, but anytime me and Hugo wrestle, again he's one of the ones where I just can't when I get told I'm wrestling him, I'm like, yes, here we go, gonna have a good match.
Yeah.
Somebody that can up the level a bit.
Yeah, and I know I've told you this before, but I still remember the first time Tony seen you, and you came out in the blue and orange stuff, and she went, "Oh,
like
he
the
looks like
background
Iron
behind
Drew,"
him,
and I
just
went,
above his head.
"Why do you
Aye.
think you get the Iron Drew from?" And she went, "Oh."
Aye, I remember you
It's
telling
like,
me about that. Aye.
but talking about WAW, like for not correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure I'm right with this. But for people that don't know, that is owned by the Knight family.
That's correct, yes.
So that's Saraya's mum and dad. You've got the likes of Ricky Knight Jr. You've got Zach Zodiac, who his own,
Zach, yep.
has his own van where he does potatoes.
Yep, Zach at Potato.
Zach
Big
at
shout out to Zach at Potato.
I actually follow him on TikTok and I actually quite enjoy his videos.
Listen, see the work that he is doing right now for the local community, for the homeless and the underprivileged. Wow, by the way, like seriously, Zach is doing absolutely phenomenal. He's doing really, really well with Zach at Potatoes.
Mhm.
But you've also got other members like PJ Knight,
Mhm.
you've got Roy Knight, Ricky Knight Senior, Nicky Knight. You know what I mean? So there's a big family.
But no, it's good. Hopefully one day I can get them to watch one of their to be at one of their shows. And that I know Syria is coming to For the Love of
FTO.
Wrestling next year.
FTO,
She's
FTO.
there for one day, so
One day only.
This Saturday, mate.
yeah. And I would meet her. I said that to Tony. I would love to meet her, but for who I want to meet, it's like there's certain ones that I really want to meet, so I'm going for them more than I am. But I know that Aaron, you mentioned about maybe meeting her, so
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think it's more the fact because we're both going, and some of the ones he wants, I'm not bothered about, but the fact
Aye.
that he said he wants to meet Saraya, and I'm thinking, well, because the way you get your photo, you pay for the photo, you get the two. Yeah, I thought, well, why not just do the both way together, run like if you know what I mean. So
Aye.
it's like I know we might because the way it works, there might be a wee bit of a like weight and stuff. It is what it is. But you know, mate, I can't wait for FTO. Honestly, I can't. It's
That'll be
it's
good.
going to be epic. But
The,
that's
the
not
one
what I
thing,
would hear. Was hear about Mr. Marshall.
right, well, just touching what you're saying there, one thing I will say, right? See if you pay the money to stand in that queue to meet Saraya, I can 100% guarantee you will not regret that.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah, it's
And
like
I've
the
won.
fact that he said to me, he says, Dad, I know we're going, but when am I potentially likely get to meet her again? You know what I mean?
Aye.
And I said, it's not 100%. I said, but look, if it means, because there'll be two, I know there'll be a morning option and an afternoon option. I said, so that means that when the time is for us to queue up, we go and queue and just wait.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Because it's one of the, I think it's one of the main ones he wants to see. Obviously, there's others we'll want to see and stuff, but I think for the Saturday, that's one of that and obviously Kurt, because Kurt's Saturday only as well.
Aye.
So I think they're the two
Aye.
main ones for Saturday, but we're going to spread it out. Like there's my list is Guru Craig. It has Guru, but anyway, we'll talk about that later.
To be fair, so is mine, but I'm kind of working my way through things and trying to
Yeah, mate,
figure
same,
stuff
but
out.
it is what it is.
Back to matches that you went over. I've only got a couple more that I want to mention.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you went up against Fulton King. Obviously, this is
Mhm.
before he was part of the NAK. So what was it like going up against Fulton?
It was different. It was good. When I say different, no, in a negative way whatsoever. So, like I touched up earlier, I am one of the assistant coaches at the Luke King Sharp Dojo of Excellence, and Fulton's one of the ones who I'd like to say I've taught a lot to. I I'd like to I would like to hope he would agree there. And it was just one of the ones where, like, in a way, he was one of the he's one of the better students that's at the Blue King Sharp Dojo. So, like, obviously with him, like Ozzy Michaels, I wrestled Ozzy Michaels, who's also he's now an assistant coach at the Blue King Sharp Dojo. Like, so getting to wrestle guys that I've passed down knowledge to, even though I've done that for like I've done it for many years now, but when it's specifically to a school that, like, it's not a one off. You were one of their coaches. You know what I mean? Like, aye, it was good, and we had a good match, really good match. And then obviously later on that night he joined NAK,
Mhm.
or maybe in the next show. I can't remember if it was the same night or the next show, but aye.
No bother. There's three more people to touch on. So the first one to touch on is Johnny Storm.
Mhm.
You went up in a four-way with Johnny Storm. What was it like going up against Johnny Storm, who's done everything basically?
I've known Johnny Storm about s- 17, 18 years. I've known Johnny. And being in the four-way again, it was different. You've got myself, Ozzy Michaels, Mikey Devine, and Johnny Storm. Like, it's for somebody like Johnny, right? Johnny's been about for 20 plus years, like longer than me. I've been here 20. I've been I'm involved in wrestling for 20 years. I think Johnny's about maybe 28, 29, maybe more, maybe less. Um, but see, like, just he's still up for putting in a shift.
Mhm.
Well, especially any time I've wrestled. So I'll speak on for my experiences. Um, we've done several singles matches together. We've recently done a singles match at W3L, so we did for the Showdown title. That'll be up on W3L Showdown in the next coming weeks. But working with Johnny, especially with somebody that's old school. I like to consider, even though, like, I'm young, I'm only 33. I like to consider myself as old school, like, when it comes to, like, wrestling, when mentality or psychology and things like that, or the way I was brought into it, the way I was trained. I like to see it as being old school. Do you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
when you're in the locker room with somebody, especially like Johnny, like, it's always good fun. And then obviously when you get to wrestle him, it's even better because you always I find you always learn. You're always learning in wrestling. If there ever comes a day where you don't learn something about wrestling in that day, then this isn't for you. Your heart's not in this. Whereas I learn every day. Every day in wrestling, there's something to be wrestling. I always learn.
Good. Um, well, you obviously mentioned Mike Mitchell earlier that that was one dream that you wanted to do. So, what was when you actually got that chance recently with Valor? How did you feel about that, and what was it like for you?
So, like, when the match first got announced, I remember thinking, like, wow, what a way to celebrate the weekend of my 20th year in wrestling. Getting to go one on one against my first ever trainer, my first ever coach, which was Mike Mitchell. So, it was quite surreal, and it was also an honour. It was a privilege to get to be able to step in the ring with somebody like Mike, especially with the personal sentiment that's there. Um, so I think that me and Mike's only ever wrestled, apart from that singles match, like maybe 3 or 4 multi-man matches. So we've never really had that much of an interaction. And I felt I fairly enjoyed the match.
Um, the last person I'm going to touch on, and I kept this person to last because I know how much it meant to you.
Yeah.
But that was the judge. You wrestled him at W3L. Now at that show, it was Aaron's first W3L show, mind you.
Yeah, it
Um,
was.
I managed to persuade Tony to come along so we can get to it because I knew with what we talked about before, I knew how much it meant to you, and I wanted to be there to witness this match.
Yeah.
But what I also noticed on the night was before I even knew it was, I had a feeling that when we were in the queue, right in front of us was your mum.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
Yeah.
oh,
she
aye.
had the jacket on and everything, and I was turning around and was like, that's got to be Drew's mum. It's got to be. Um, but so tell us how that match felt for you, everything about that match that you with the judge, but also obviously your mum's been to see you numerous times probably. You even alluded to how much your mum means to you when after that match, but having
Yeah.
your mum there for that match, how that
Yep.
felt.
Just so, just I see it just with the whole match and on its own, right? Like take away like anything else. That that was my first ever. Like when I first got into wrestling, that was my first ever dream match. That was my fantasy booking. Was me versus the judge. Um, like I started a few weeks before the judge. I remember when he first walked into training, and there was nobody in the training school that was in shape the way this guy was in shape. And he's walked into the building, and remember he had his protein shaker and his big bag, and he's walked in and he was getting taught how to go through the bumps and stuff. And I've never seen anybody do bumps on their first day, and that's it. They don't need to get taught bumps again because they're lifting massively like that. Like the judge seen. You need to remember, I was only 13 when I first started getting involved in wrestling. I was very naive. Do you know what I mean? Like living in council estates and like no, I wouldn't call them run-down areas, but less privileged areas than other. Um, like the judge seen. I don't know if he's seen like a younger version of himself in me, but for some reason, the judge decided to take me under his wing, and he would he would always make sure that I had food. He always made sure I wasn't wasting my money on rubbish. He would always come if I had to travel to a show, even though I wasn't booked. I was only a trainee. I was only going to help to build a ring. The judge would make sure I got home, we got picked up and got home, all that stuff. Uh, we always kept in touch, always. And then like we kind of a we kind of a lost touch for maybe about 3 or 4 years, just due to the judge's personal life. He's a busy man, and the fact that he takes time out of his day any day, any time he gets in touch, it's to me it's a massive honour. Do you know what I mean? Because the guy's got such a busy schedule. Um, so like he reached out. We became neighbours. This is how we kind of like rekindled things. Was me and my partner got a council flat, and it was directly straight across from his flat that he owns, and sort of about the friendship built up again. And then the bond got stronger. I was a bit older. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't this 13, 14-year-old wee kid anymore. And we always just kept in touch, and he would always just tell me random stories, just out the blue, just random stories. And I'm thinking, fucking likes to tell me these stories, man. Like these are just random stories. I don't know why he's telling me these stories, but fuck it. Do you know what I mean? If it gives him somebody to talk to, whatever, I'll let. Like, do you know what I mean? And then it's not until maybe like you've heard 20 stories, and then you're in this situation where you're in your local shops or your local shopping centre, and you're going, oh wait a minute here, I'm in a situation. I remember the judge telling me this was like story number 4. And he told me how he reacted, and that was the wrong thing to do. And I remember telling him how I should react. And this is like in the streets, whatever. Do you know what I mean? And it wasn't until I realised he was literally telling me about all the mistakes that he had made in his life growing up, like the wastage youth or whatever. And he was trying to pass it down to me to let me to basically not allow me to make the same mistakes. Do you know what I mean? So on a personal level, like he literally became like my big brother. He was always there, no matter what. Still to this day, he phones me. It's usually a Tuesday he phones me. I'm surprised he's not phoned me. Usually it's between 8 and 10 he phones me. Do you know what I mean? He seen the progress I was making doing at WAW. He seen the difference in my wrestling style, the difference in what I was doing. And like I remember telling him how I was taking on all the stuff that he told me growing up, all the stories, all the knowledge, all the stuff about your ring awareness, your ring psychology, your presence, your etiquette, your style. And by this point, the judge had retired from wrestling, so I literally stole everything of the judges. He told me he was never planning on ever coming back. Okay. Now, if there's any viewers that remember the judge from back in the day, I strongly believe that he would be in WWE right now. He would have been the top guy before Drew McIntyre. 100%. I strongly believe, and I will argue that with anybody. The guy was just beyond his time. Way leaps and bounds beyond his time. Do you know what I mean? He had a good job in his personal life. Wrestling was a hobby. And it got to the point where people were too busy trying to make him think that wrestling's more important, and he's like, nah. So he walked away from wrestling, but always kept a wee eye on things. And then he seen the progress I was making, and then he asked me if I wanted to start dieting. So he started writing me out diet plans. And then he would phone me, and he would go through each and every single individual food that I was eating. How does that make you feel? How are you feeling when you're eating that? How does this make you feel when you've ate that? What happens if you've no eaten? And I'm sitting there going, whoa, why is he asking me these fucking questions, man? I feel like I'm being like getting a dressing down for a high school teacher here. Like, is it pure pressure into answering these questions? And I would tell him, and then he would tell me, right, cool, that's how you're meant to feel when this is in your diet, right? Well, if you're not feeling like this, take that out of your diet, take this out of your diet, put this in your diet. And the next thing I'm going, here, I'm only got to the gym 3 days a week, but I'm starting to pack on some amount of muscle, man. Like, where's this came for all the years? And then it got to training. He would write me doing training plans, how to train properly, how to lift weights properly, right positioning, things like that. And I literally just thrived on it. Thrived on it the minute during COVID. As soon as COVID finished, it was April 26, 2021. I marched up to my local gym, which is Everlast Gym up the Glasgow Fort, and I've never looked back. I've literally worked as hard as I can, and that's all due to the judge. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like the judge said at the end of the match, like he put the plans together. I done all the work. Do you know what I mean? He had the instructions. I was the worker, and then like he wanted to. We wanted to use him in some sort of manner. I wanted to use him. I wanted to give back to him, as a thank you, really. The reason I'm very slow in telling the story, I'm fighting back tears. This is a very emotional story for me. This is very, very, very close to my heart. So I remember
to the end as well.
appreciated. So I remember speaking to Mike Musso and asking, do you think maybe like if I was to ask the judge if he wants to maybe like get involved in something? And Mike says, judge is always welcome. So I remember I mentioned it to the judge, and the judge was like, oh, I'd come back for like a tag match. But if I'm going to do a tag match, it would only like, I would need to be in the ring with you. You need to be there. And I'm like, right, cool. Let me say to Mike. So I said to Mike, and Mike's like, right, cool. So Mike had asked me to ask the judge to come along to Old Year's fight at the Petticoat Bay last year there on December 27th. So Judge came along, and the plan was for Judge to basically, it was, I thought it was going to extend the storyline with me and Tim Strange, because I was in the middle of a rivalry with Tim Strange at this point. This was my last chance of getting a shot at the Showdown title, and the judges came in, and he was basically just there to be like a make sure there's no nonsense going on. It's a fair fight, that type of thing. The plan was at a certain point, the referee's distracted. Tim Strange has got the cowbell. He's getting ready to hit me. The judge jumps up, pulls the cowbell away from him, jumps off the apron, leaves it. That's it. Tim Strange turns round, super kick, headbutt, finish. But in that moment, when the judge jumped up on the apron and he grabbed that cowbell for Tim Strange, even the judge says he does not know what happened, what overcame him. He took the cowbell, looked at Tim Strange, and swung the cowbell and rattled Tim Strange right in the side of the skull, and then jumped off the apron. I've got the super kick, got the headbutt, got the finish. Finally become the champ. Telling the judge to get in the ring. He comes in, gives me a hug, and says, "This time's yours." And I'm like, "No, no, you're here to share this with me." He gets out the ring and doesn't want to come back in. We go backstage, and there's Judge telling Mike Musso, "Nah, I need to come back. I need to come back. One more big match, one more match, but it needs to be against Drew." And I remember standing there, like, overwhelmed, quite happy and overjoyed that Mike's put the trust in me to carry this belt. And there's the judge demanding Mike Musso, me versus him in a one night only. Judge Jimmy James returns, and I'm thinking, this is like a dream. This is literally a match that I would create on my WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2006. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just a dream of mine. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember as a kid when I had a trampoline, I used to have the Hulk Hogan, the NWO Hulk Hogan wrestling buddy. I had it for a lot of years. I got it when I was like 8. I had it up until I was like 18. Don't fucking judge me. So, like, when I was like 13, 14, that was my wrestling buddy on the trampoline. And the wrestling buddy was always Judge Jimmy James. Do you know what I mean? And I was just my old wrestling name was Max Mayhem. So it was Max Mayhem and Judge Jimmy James. Do you know what I mean? Then it got to the point with the wrestling figures. I would have a wrestler who's no longer in WWE, and I'm like, right, cool, you're now the judge. And you're now the champion, you're the top man, you're undefeatable, nobody can beat you. The judge was like my Brock Lesnar. Do you know what I mean? That's who I see. That's the way I seen the judge. Was like Scotland's version of Brock Lesnar, to an extent, because obviously there's nobody anywhere near the caliber of the judge. I'm not joking. I mean Brock Lesnar, but then we go. Then we have the match. The match gets announced. Me and the judge. We done the whole angle where he turns on me at Resolution in the pre-show. And then we done the build up where he doesn't do any promos, there's no answers, there's no nothing, there's just me constantly asking things. And then the match is announced, it's set in stone. And I remember leading up to the match, everything up here was fine. I was like, just another match, just another match. Never thought much of it. And then I got to Dunfermline. Then I got to Carnegie Leisure Centre. I was the first one there. I was the first person out of the whole entire crew to get to that building. And it wasn't until I started walking down the stairs, I just felt this wave of overwhelmness. I knew that this was my dream come true. And it almost felt like if that was my last ever match, then I'm happy. I'll happily call it a day. Do you know what I mean? Because I've done everything that I've ever, literally as a kid, this is probably the biggest thing I could ever achieve. Do you know what I mean? Like, in my personal goals was I got to wrestle the Judge Jimmy James, and then like we're backstage, and he's like, "How are you?" And I says, "I'm fucking shitting myself." And he says, "But why?" And makes a joke saying, "Oh, I'm not going to hurt you that bad." Well, that match was on. Listen, George, if you're watching, that match was on the 14th of November. I've still got a fucking sore rib, like legit. I'm actually in agony. That first spear, yeah, I knew when we had that match, it was going to be something where I'm literally going to get ragdolled about like a sack of shit, and there's nothing I can do to stop that. I wish to God I could turn around and say to you, I helped him manoeuvre me, throw me about. Did I fuck? I didn't have a choice in the matter. He gave me two German suplexes. He held on the first one. I've took multiple like the series of German suplexes. Usually you take the German suplex, you've got a 2 or 3 second pause, and then the person rolls you to your side and picks you up. No, the fucking judge. The judge grabs a hold of you, throws you right at his fucking head, and rolls there, keeps going, and picks you back up to your feet again, picks you back up and lets you go in midair. There's no breather, there's no chance to breathe, there's no chance to sell that first German suplex. Because before you know it, you're fucking doing a flip in midair again. You're like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like I said, the first spear of that match, fuck me, go back and you can see my face on the angle that you've recorded. Mate, my face I'm not showing no pain. I'm showing disbelief because I can't believe how hard I've just been fucking hit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know if I want to move because I genuinely think I'm fucked. And then I start getting up and he fucking toe punches me in the ribs. But that's the judge. And again, I wouldn't have changed it. I knew that's what was going to happen. And just the again, the story that we told, the old dog coming back and showing this fight that he's got, and then the up and coming dog having that bigger fight in him. You know what I mean? But that match to me, like just with the match alone, is probably the match so far that has meant the most to me in my whole career, and that tops South Africa, that tops NWA World Title shot. Do you know what I mean? And like that's the first time since I want to say 2011 where I've had an audience that is over 30 people there that has specifically bought a ticket to see me. And I'm not saying that's fans because probably 75% of them people were all family members. But the last time that happened, I was only a trainee. Do you know what I mean? I was just Max Mayhem, this wee guy who got told, if you can sell me 30 tickets, I'll put you on the show. Oh, that's right. Was that your mum will put a minibus on out of her own pocket? I'll put you on against Jack fucking Jester. Like, okay, no worries. Do you know what I mean? Like that was the type of bullshit I had to I had to put up with coming through the ranks of training. Whereas now it's my family have bought tickets because, well, like their cousin, their nephew, their, you know what I mean, their son is this Scottish wrestling superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And you're right. My mum's got to see me wrestle quite a few times. She is my biggest supporter. My mum used to take me all over Scotland. Even if, like, I was never booked on shows when I first started. It took me a long time to get booked on shows. 4 years before I got booked on a show properly. My mum would drive me to the other end of fucking Scotland just to sit and watch a show because I knew the wrestlers that were on it, or if it was for a training seminar, She would drive me, she would take me anywhere, didn't matter where it was. Do you know what I mean? She literally took all her, the majority of her personal time was spent travelling, taking me to shows.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? And like, I'll go nuts at her. Like, she'll say, "Oh, I've bought a ticket for the show." I'm like, "What do you mean you've bought a ticket for the show?" "Well, I want to come and support you." "Ah, but do you forget if it wasn't for you spending all that money that you spent, I wouldn't be where I am today. So why the fuck are you buying a ticket?" I
Mhm.
don't care who the promoter is. I'll say to them, "Look, listen, my mum's here and I'm not charging my mother a ticket. Because I don't expect the promoter to charge his own mother a ticket."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And my mum's like, "No, no, I'll still buy my ticket. I'll still buy my ticket." And I'm like, "Right, okay, no worries." Do you know what I mean? But like, with the Dunfermline show was not just the fact it was the judge, not just the fact that like my mum was there, a lot of my family was there, a lot of school friends were there, a lot of people that I grew up with was there. But like just Dunfermline on its own, Dunfermline, and I'm probably going to get slated for any of my mates for Cowdenbeath because believe it or not, I'm originally for Cowdenbeath. I've always had a Glaswegian accent, but I'm not for Glasgow. I just live here now. But aye, I was born and raised in a wee miners village called Cowdenbeath, which is right next to Dunfermline. I went to high school in Dunfermline. Uh, my I was a doorman in Dunfermline for 8 years. My dad was a postman in Dunfermline for about 13 years. Dunfermline was Cowdenbeath's football rival. Do you know what I mean? So there was a lot of history there. And it's not the first time I've wrestled in Carnegie Leisure Centre, but that one was like I'm no one for I'm no one for blowing smoke up my own arse. I'm really no. But be honest, did you see anybody get a better reaction than me?
No.
Did you see anybody getting cheered the way I didn't even need to do nothing? Usually I need to talk loud, I need to interact with a certain fan to get a reaction from multiple people. I didn't need to do nothing. Like Dunfermline's always been that crowd where I walk out as soon as my music hits, that's it. Like they know that they're here. And I'm not saying this because I think I'm their hero. But again, when you look at the reaction, and Aaron, you were there yourself, you know what I mean? There was a few fans that were there, like Fiona Manson. She usually comes to all the Valor shows. That was her first ever W3L show. And she's commenting saying Drew's definitely the hero in W3L. He's definitely the top person here. Like he's well loved. He's a hero here. Do you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
again, that's another thing that I owe to Mike Mitchell for putting me in that position, uh, and for giving me that opportunity to go in the ring with somebody who I considered one of the best to ever lace a pair of boots, and that being in the Judge Jimmy James. But like I could go on and on and on and on, as you can tell, because we've been on this podcast for nearly 2 hours.
Mhm.
But I could probably go on for another 2 hours and just talk about the judge, just how much a magnificent human being that is. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't need like he was in. I'll tell you just a wee quick one, just how close we are. So just before COVID was even thought about or even mentioned, the judge was handpicked. This I don't know his exact job title. I just know the cunt makes good fucking money. The judge was handpicked with I feel like several other people, um, handpicked by David Attenborough's research team to go out to the Antarctica or Antarctica. I don't know why I said the Antarctica. But to go out to Antarctica for several months to basically explore the area and make sure that it was safe for the camera crews and David David Attenborough's expedition team to go in there and try and see what obviously footage they can get for their next nature show. So the judge, who was away for all human contact for several months, had no clue that the whole entire world was in lockdown with COVID-19. He's away at Antarctica in the middle in this big massive ship, thinking, ah, I wonder what my wife and the kids are up to. I'm stuck in this boat. That's all right, because we're all stuck in the fucking house. They had an emergency helicopter that brought it was like a military phone, and you were only allowed to phone 3 people each. Judge phoned his wife and spoke to all his kids. He phoned his mother, and he phoned me. So I had a phone call with the judge. I'm sitting here in Easterhouse, Glasgow, and the judge is in the middle of a fucking ship in Antarctica. Like 4 months into COVID, we were on lockdown for 4 or 5 months, and that's him just finding out about it all. Because he never had any reach out to the real world. That goes to show just the level of the bond and how close that the judge and I are. Do you know what I mean? So, aye, that is to me like I could happily walk up right now. I could walk away from wrestling and say I've done everything I wanted to do just on that match alone.
Yeah.
So
No, that's class, and I knew how much that meant to you when hence the reason I left it to last. And I do remember speaking to you after it and you saying about your rip, about from that one spear, because obviously I had to get representing the NAK merch,
of
of course, which is on sale by the way. Um,
It is on sale. Just saying, limited edition NAK can koozies available now at all merchandise stores that I am at.
yep.
Just saying.
But yeah, no, it's great to hear about the judge. And it was great just to even just sit and listen to you and listen to what you had to say. Aaron, have you got any final questions?
I do not, mate. I've had a blast.
Same. I've got one final question, and then I'm leaving it up to you for your social media side and that for people. Name 3 things you're grateful for in life right now.
That I'm grateful for in life.
Yeah.
Wrestling. Me, I can no longer say ex-partner, but me and my partner, we recently got back together. That is probably something right now, probably the main thing I am actually very fucking grateful for in life. Um, um, 3, I'm grateful for the life I've had. I'm grateful for the experiences I've had, whether it be negative, positive. Like people always say, everybody's here for a purpose, and we've got a purpose to serve. Obviously, I'm still fucking here talking a load of shite, so I've still got a purpose to serve. But I'm grateful for just everything that I've been through in life, all the experiences, the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads, the greats, the not so greats. But I'm just life. Just you take life as it comes. You know what I mean? And right now, I'm just when I think about it, I'm just grateful for the the trials and tribulations, even just through the past, I'd say 12 months. Do you know what I mean? It's been very, very, very difficult, but I've managed to overcome them. I'm still here, and I'm starting to smile again. So, aye,
Good, mate.
that's that.
I'm very glad, and it's something. It's a new question I stole from Chris Van Vliet that I like asking at the end. Right. Tell the people on where they can find you on social media. Social
Social
That,
media
that, that,
and
that, that, that,
Oh
that.
God. Where they can find you on social media, where they can buy your merch from, and any shows that you know you're on that you can announce.
Cool. Right. So since it's the end of the year, I'll stick with the end of the year dates that I'm wrestling. So like I touched on earlier, I make my long-awaited WAW return this Saturday, the 13th of December, down at the WAW Performance Centre. Then I am currently in disputes with SWE. SWE still really unhappy with my actions and the things that I was getting up to and my weird feud with John Hex. So I've told them I'll be there if they want to put me on the show. Then they can put me on the show, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Then I've got on the 27th of December, same as every other year, on the 27th of December, we've got W3L Old Year's Fight at Petticoat Bay Holiday Park, which is in Kinghorn. Fantastic venue, always a great show, and the crowd are always absolutely amazing there as well. And then the following night, we are in Broxburn with W3L as well. So if you want to find them, then you can get them at W3L on socials. They've got W3L Network on YouTube, and you can also find W3L on Hooked on Wrestling, as I touched on earlier. So social media for myself. Now, this is where I always get mixed up. I really should just go into my social media and put them all as the same fucking one. But as far as I'm aware, or as far as I remember, sorry, Facebook, Drew Marshall, not my personal one. Instagram, Scottish Superman. TikTok is Iron Drew 92. I'm not really on TikTok, but it's there. Snapchat, Iron Drew 92. Again, no on there very often, but it's there. X, I believe, is Iron Drew 92 as well. Then I have recently, I'm going to throw this out there just in case, but I've recently tried to get back into streaming video gaming. So I'm going to throw my Twitch channel in there, which is also Iron Drew 92. So type of games that the only game I've been playing on it just now is the latest Assassin's Creed, which is Assassin's Creed Shadows. But again, like, come along, have fun, chat shit, whatever. Merchandise, right? Well, I seem to be merchandise is my favourite thing right now because I'm selling a lot of it. So the more I get, the better. So as it stands, you can get your. I'm still on unforgettablevision.com, where you can get exclusive Iron Drew stuff straight from there. But for the latest Iron Drew stuff or NAK merchandise, your best bet is to either contact me on Facebook or come and see me at a merchandise table. If I'm on the show, go to the merchandise table. I promise you there will be a load of variety there and all different merchandise. And like I say, I gave Craig and Aaron a wee sneak peek at the merchandise that's not been announced yet. It's here. It's just not been announced yet. The one that I did spoil, which I'll show you again, is these limited edition NAK can koozies. So I currently have a 330ml can in this, and the quality is quite good. My can's still cold, and I opened it at the start of the podcast. So, aye, that's merchandise you can get. You can get me on social media, or you can get me at one of the merchandise at the local shows.
Class. No, it's good. Thank you so much, Drew, for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. We have both really enjoyed our night tonight.
As have I.
Like usual, I will see you on the 20th at SWE. But as usual, we'll probably speak before that because no doubt I'll message you about merch like I always do.
Yep.
Aaron, thank you so much for coming on as always. You are back on Sunday.
That's it, mate.
Right, well,
8:30 on Sunday,
8:30.
myself, John and Alex.
8:30. And we, as in me and Aaron, he's that way on my screen. We are back next Tuesday at 8:30 with Piper Reynolds.
Nice.
So we will be back then. So yeah. But yeah, thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on. It's been an absolute blast.
Thank you.
Drew, good luck on Saturday at WAW. I'll probably speak to you tomorrow.
At some point, no doubt.
I will. But guys, join Aaron on Sunday. Come back and join us next Tuesday. And thank you very much. And peace.